Welcome back, everybody. I am Kavita Agrawal, the founder of EXVest, and it's Wednesday. We are here again for our Let's Get Technical series. Today, I have a very technical topic for you that is the alert system. Now, a lot of people who swing trade in the market or are interested in swing trade in the market don't think about the alert system that you need to succeed. So, what is this alert system that I'm talking about? Basically, it is not possible for you to sit and monitor the stocks at all times continuously. So, you need to know what are the kind of alerts that you need to set in order to not miss opportunities or know when an opportunity has been missed and to let it go. Because if you keep chasing stocks, it's not going to work. If you keep buying stocks out of FOMO, it's not going to work. You need to trap stocks at favorable prices to get good returns. How will that happen? You need a system for that. The trade software that I use for trading gives us an allowance for using lots of alerts. If used properly, that can really increase your efficiency exponentially. So I will take you through few scenarios and I will tell you the alerts that we are using. And before that, I will also talk about the different stages of trading that we go through so that you in your mind have a system that you can follow to succeed in swing trade. All these things are in detail taught in my advanced swing trade training program. Also, there are also specific exercises given to develop intuition and develop habit. Because it's one thing to hear about something that is good, it's completely different game to bring it into practice. So our intention in the advanced swing trade training classes are to bring things into practice, make them intuitive, and make it a habit. So before I start, I can see that Mr. Azar has something really nice to say. I am glad that you're learning from my knowledge. That's my whole intention. And we have some members with us on Zoom as well. Most of them are our Trade Together program members or our training members. So once I'm done explaining what I'm here, we will take stock queries from you or we'll just answer your questions from the comments. But if you have specific stock queries, you either need to be a Zoom member. So if you want to join Zoom sessions, make sure you connect with me on my Telegram channel. Or if you just want to ask me stock queries, there is a specific stock request form that you need to fill out. Now, most of you might not be aware, but SEBI mandates that registered research analysts like me, if we talk about any stock on a public forum, we need to keep a record of what did we say, what levels we gave. So I request you that please maintain the stock request form. This is later filled by my team. And the responses are also sent to you on WhatsApp. So that if you ask a question and then you have to leave the live, you at least don't miss out on the response if it was given. If time runs out and if response is not given to your request, you'll get a message telling you about that as well. So first, let's talk about what are the stages of trading for swing trading specifically. I'm not talking about options or futures or even long term right now. I'm only talking about swing trading in the equity segment. So the first stage of trading is identification or identify. What happens in identify stage is simply you identify the stocks where you can potentially take a position in the next few days, next few weeks, whatever is your horizon. This will come out of a specific watch list. Now, for the purpose of swing trading, I always recommend my members, even my peers, my students, to always maintain a limited watch list of stocks so that you can increase your familiarity with these stocks. So, after you've identified, you can have a different system, you can have different systems. I have something called a relative strength quant model, which sounds fancy, but honestly, it's really simple model, something that I teach in my classes. Using that model, we identify which are the stocks in our watch list that have positive momentum today, maybe yesterday, maybe since a low day, or maybe since a specific day, few days back. And then we study those stocks to identify if there is a setup that we can maybe play out. What happens after we've identified this setup? Once the setup is identified, a tradable setup is identified, we go into the monitoring stage. In this monitoring stage, I will use different alerts. I will use buy GTT orders to trap the price at a desired entry level in order to get the best risk reward ratio. Now, of course, just like a fisherman trading in a pond, not all fishes in your corner are going to come in your net. Similarly, not all stocks that we identify and start monitoring will be able to catch. For example, Maruti, I had a GTT setup there, but it moved up too fast. So today I removed the GTT because now the setup has already been executed without me being part of it. And that's completely okay. But the buy GTT ordered system, which I deploy during my monitoring stage, helps me with the next stage, which is the entry stage. In this entry stage, there are few things that I need to do. Number one, I will mark my charts Number two, I will identify where my next resistance is, where my stop loss level is, and I will set my alerts. And then I will update my trade tracker. These are three very specific steps that I will take in the entry stage. The next stage is the monitoring stage. What are we doing in the monitoring stage? Whatever active positions we have taken, we are monitoring them for basically either resistance being crossed to trail the stop loss, or stop loss being triggered, mark the exit in the trade tracker and on the charts, which brings us to the very next stage, that is our exit stage. Exit. Now, of course, after exit also there is past trade analysis which needs to be done to improve on your trading behavior as you go forward. Suppose one leg of bull run has finished in the market. So for example, right now we are at 25,000 on Nifty, and I think we might see some small correction there, right? So since the bottom level that we had seen, so let me just jog my memory, say this was the bottom level, right? 24,290, since when we saw like a strong rally. So this entire period, if you see, this was around 3% rally and maybe say 7% move, or to consider a little bit of a bigger period, say 21 days have gone, which is a very good, I would say, one full swing trade cycle for me. So what I would do is, now last month, whatever positions that I had taken and had been exited and had now seen some time lapse between their exit and the present, I will go and study those trades to see what I could have done better. If I missed opportunities, why did I miss them? What I could have done as part of my system to not miss those trades again. Because remember, I am going to be trading in the market on and on. So are you. So even if I have made some mistakes in some trades in the past, I obviously cannot go back in time and change them. But in the future, when I find myself again in same position, I can make those improvements and get better results. This is called incremental improvement, something that is very important in the market. But coming back to the alert system. So, what are the alerts that we are going to use? This is essentially monitoring of your active positions, but just for the sake of nomenclature, we'll call it tracking. We call it tracking. So, this is the tracking stage. So, what are the 5 stages? Like I said, you first identify which are the stocks or setups that you're going to play. You start monitoring them for optimal entry points. Entry points happen, then you start tracking them for updating your stop loss or making your exits with profit booking. Finally, you exit them. So these are roughly the 5 stages. There is a 6th stage which is not mentioned, the past trade analysis stage. So what are the alerts that you are using here? Let's now go into that. So in the identify stage, right now there is no alert per se. You are only looking at maybe your watch list. You're looking at your, if you have any, you might be looking at some momentum based model like my relative strength model that I have built from scratch. You may have your own system to first identify where a favorable trade setup is playing for you. Now, for me, I am a momentum and volume based. So I will look for momentum reversal, a stock which has been in correction, maybe on the daily time frame, but now has started giving early signals of a potential momentum reversal. If momentum is starting to give reversal signals, price will follow very soon. And I also want to look at the volume. Is the volume backing this signal that my momentum indicator RSI is giving me or not? There is a whole study dedicated to that. So that comes the identification stage. So say I have a watch list of around 200 stocks. Out of a 200 stock watch list, maybe 25 stocks, maybe 30 stocks will be eligible. Because see, in the entire 200 stocks watch list that I follow, obviously all stocks are not in bull trend. Some of the stocks are stuck in bear trend. For example, banking stocks, they are in consolidation right now. Some sectors may be in correctionary mode right now. I only want to trade in those sectors or in those stocks out of my watch list which are in an outright bull trend as per one higher time frame, and at the same time are giving me a good buy on dip opportunity. So that is the first stage, identify. Now, monitoring stage is actually when my alert system becomes very active. So what is the first kind of alert that I am interested in using? The first alert will be, I will draw a GTT buy order on my chart, and I will open my Zerodha trading account. I use Zerodha trading account, whatever trading account that you use, and I will set my buy GTT order at the predictive accumulation zone. What is predictive accumulation zone? When you start analyzing every stock, you need to make sure that you've drawn your trend lines to get the trajectory of that stock as well as the support resistance zones. Okay, so you set your buy GTT order near your predictive accumulation zone, which is basically your important support resistance zone that you have marked. Those are the best entry points because they give you the most risk reward ratio, the highest risk reward ratio for your trade setup. And over time, the more disciplined you are about using a high risk reward ratio, the better results you're going to get. I will set up a white line with a buy GTT order. The GTT order goes in my Zerodha trading account, and I have an alert on my trading view that hey, your buy GTT order has been triggered in your trading account. That is something that I will set. But what if the price doesn't come down and the price goes up? What if it creates a higher high and I have missed the setup? I need to know that. So I will set something called a HH alert. It's a price alert with the message HH. HH means higher high. So now what I will do when I see this alert, I will go back to my chart and I will assess whether it makes sense for me from a risk reward ratio perspective to change my buy GTT order to higher, or maybe execute the trade right away, or maybe delete the trade altogether. So I have that visibility. So I'm going to go ahead with that. But suppose the GTT order gets triggered. Now I have an active position in the stock, right? What will I do next? I have entered the stock. I need to set one price alert. This I like to call resistance. So I will use a shorthand RES. I don't want to sit in type sentences. I'm not interested in that. So I usually tend to use very short messages, and I know what these messages mean. So I will set an alert right above the price or wherever the next short term resistance lies, because I need to trail my stop loss. If I don't do that, then my unrealized profit will stand threatened. And remember, unrealized profit is not free money. A lot of people think that only my capital that I've invested in a stock is what I'm responsible for. That is not true at all. You are putting your time, you're putting your energy in the market. Your unrealized profits is your reward. It's not free money. It's something that you've already earned, just not realized yet. So don't be careless when it comes to your unrealized profit. Of course, don't be obsessed with it also, that you suffocate your active positions and keep very tight stop losses. You don't want to do that either. See, I don't want to sit and I don't want to continuously track my active positions, because if you're looking at the charts too much, you're going to make wrong decisions. You're going to end up overtrading. Look at the charts when you need to look at a stock's chart when you're holding an active position, either to revise your stop loss, or your stop loss has been triggered and to make the marking that, hey, I'm out of this position. So what I'll do is I'll set up two alerts. One is the price alert, one is a line alert on my stop loss line. So I will set that here. So this is a line alert which says SL. SL means stop loss. So if I'm seeing this in my alert log, I know that my stop loss has been triggered. Nothing much to do. I might have to take the decision of whether I want to re-enter or not. Typically, when do I re-enter a stock? If I can see that the stop loss was triggered maybe some time back, maybe yesterday, 2 days ago, but I am not seeing the price really decline. I am seeing the price hover and try to recover. So this might be a whiplash which took my stop loss out. And see, today in the time of algo trading, it is a reality of the market. It is nothing bad. It's evolution. So as evolution happens, new threats, new advantages both come into your environment. With evolution of the trading environment, we are seeing faster execution, we are seeing easier information availability. So there is also an increased threat of algo trading and these very fast movements in price. It's just something that you have to accept about the ecosystem. There is no point feeling sad or bad or disadvantaged about it. You have to work with it. So we'll set the line alert, stop loss. If needed, we will do the re-entry. If not, we will update our trade tracker. We will update our charts and we will move on. But suppose your stop loss is not triggered. Your RES, the resistance trigger is set off. Then what do? You identify the next resistance level and you again set your alert. And then what do? The next thing that you will do is you will also revise your stop loss level if there is a need to revise the stop loss level based on your analysis of one lower time frame or one higher time frame, where you're not suffocating the price as well as you're not compromising on too many support levels and letting all your unrealized profits get evaporated in the market. So either then you have identified, of course, a target level. So now how do you exit the stock? Either your target level comes or your stop loss gets triggered. Now, if the target level comes, or if you see that the next resistance that is available on the chart is your target level, for example, TeamLease. So yesterday, we booked profits on the stock of TeamLease. So we made an entry around 11 days back on 18th of July. And yesterday, the target of 3,500 was achieved. So now I saw that there is like a massive resistance here, and the region above that is not very reliable for me. So what I did was I let my target of 3,500 get achieved in TeamLease. So me and all my members were able to book profits on TeamLease like that. Same for Green Panel, if you see. So Green Panel also, we had a target sitting at 363. Yesterday and today, both days, the target got achieved. But I did not revise the target any further higher. Why? Because this stock is just coming out of a strong correction and it's already given a very sharp move here. So the volume, while it was high on the first leg, today's leg did not see as high volumes. So I wasn't sure whether more upside can be seen. So what I have done is I have exited or let my profits get booked. Now when the stock comes back down to say 336, there I might assess a re-entry. So there's another alert which is set after your exit stage, which is called runoff. Because see, we need to know if a stock after our exit is continuing to go up. So wherever the next resistance is after our exit price, there we want to set this alert. Now, why am I using the word runoff? Why not resistance or why not RES res? Because when I see the alert, I want to know what is going on behind the scene without having to look at my trade tracker, without having to look at my trading, without looking at my charts. The message RES versus runoff versus SL versus target is telling me at what stage or what my next step is or what has happened without me even having to look. So this system allows me to be a lot more efficient as I operate in the market. Where did this runoff alert come from? See, I've been trading since a long time, and I realized that a lot of times I identify really good trading setups, but before my target comes, I get stopped out or I exit for whatever reason. Maybe my bias is kick in, so on and so forth. And in my past trade analysis, what I've realized is that trade setups did appear again where I would have been comfortable but I simply did not re-enter it because it didn't come up in my alerts. It just didn't come under my radar again. I don't want that to happen to me anymore. So I thought, what is the one thing that I can do that will avoid such circumstances in my case? So I came up with this alert system where I will set up a runoff alert every time I exit a stock close to the next resistance. So now, if the stock has overcome a next resistance, I can take the decision to either buy the stock immediately. Basically, the entire cycle gets started. I can take the decision whether the risk reward ratio is favorable for me or not, whether my next support is expected to be touched, so I can set my GTT order. If not, then should I make an immediate entry? Decision can accordingly be made. See, you have to know what your process is step by step so that you're not making impulsive decision. Now, when you have a system set for swing trading, your probability of success is going to obviously increase. Your efficiency is going to increase. You will at no point feel overwhelmed. That is the goal that we are basically working towards in this. So if I minimize this and if I show you my trading view, this is my alert log. So every day, as a matter of discipline, before I go to bed, I will make sure that I have studied all the logs which have been, all the alerts which have basically been triggered on my trading view. I have a watch list system very specifically. So whether a stock is showing a potential momentum reversal on 75-minute or daily or weekly or 15, or if there's a volume change, they will be allocated to respective watch lists so that I can take participation in them when the time comes, right? Within every account that I trade, within that also I have a system. What are the stocks that I'm holding from a long-term perspective? What are the stocks that I'm holding from a short-term perspective? What are the stocks where I buy GTT orders open, and what are the stocks that I have completely exited, right? All of those things are also being maintained in specific categories. What this helps me do is it helps me manage my trading ecosystem better. It helps me reduce my mistakes in my trading behavior, and it helps me identify those areas where I need to make progress to reach the next level of performance. So for me, what is the next level of performance? Because I track my performance, I know that I've been making, like 3 years ago, on average, I was making around 1 to 2% a month, which was, I was barely beating the market. Then as I improved my efficiency, my performance increased on average to 2 to 3%. Last year, I was between 3 to 5% on average. My next level personally is 5 to 8% on average per month. It's going to be extremely hard, but because I do my past trade analysis, I can see there is huge potential for me to achieve that level. So this is very iterative, this is very constructive, and this is very systematic. I don't have to constantly look for courses, videos, books, which I do read a lot of swing trading related books to expand my knowledge, but I don't have to pursue them for the sake of improving my own trading system or my performance. My system is self feeding on that level, and this alert, this watch list identification process, it just makes everything very easy. And sure, on days where there's a lot of volatility, for example, budget day or election day, when there's a lot of volatility, lots of work comes up because lots of alerts get triggered. But it's fine. On most days, I have a lot of freedom in terms of how I use my time, what time I want to start working, because my trades are already automated. So I don't have to be in front of my screen. A lot of times I'm waking up at 10 a.m. Profits have already been booked in my account. My target has been achieved and profits are booked. Great. I already know what can happen in my account on most days. So we have Apache with us on YouTube, and they're asking, how do I draw trend lines? Drawing trend lines is very easy. So if we take this example of green panel itself, I like the maiden trend line methodology to draw my trend lines. So what that basically means is I will choose 2 points on the chart in order to draw the first trend line. So suppose I like this uptrend and this is what I want to capture. So if you look at this green panel stock, from a broad perspective, what do you see? A strong bull trend had occurred. Now the stock is in correction. What I want to do now, my objective is to capture the resumption of this bull trend. Why do I think this bull trend is going to resume soon? Because when this bull trend was unfolding earlier, we saw that the momentum was very strong on the weekly time frame and the volume activity was also pretty promising. Also, the volume activity has been promising within this little bit of consolidation that we've seen. Also, if you do a quick Elliott wave count, which most of you may not be familiar with, and that's completely fine, I think this was a very beautiful 5 wave impulse wave followed by a 3 wave correction. So I am very hopeful that the stock will resume the uptrend, and there is a good chance that it is going to follow the same trajectory that we are seeing here. So in order to identify its trajectory, what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose 2 points, either two lows or two highs on this trend, and I'm going to start drawing my trend lines. So I've drawn my maiden trend line, which is in simple words, the very first trend line, which I'm now going to clone. Place it on the highest point that is visible, and then simply clone this trend line using the control key of my keyboard, which is a shortcut, to place the internal trend lines. The internal trend lines will show you other points which are good reversal points for the stock. So this is basically the entire trajectory that the stock had followed. I know it looks a little bit cluttered, but don't worry. But the purpose of this trend line that we've drawn will begin when the stock actually resumes its trajectory. So whether or not the stock has started into that trajectory yet is something that I don't know. But I will still place this trend line on the important turnaround points like this. And I will wait. So right now, if I have to say, it does look like the stock might be in this trajectory because the ABC correction seems to have gotten over. So now, suppose if this is the first resistance zone, maybe the stock can go up to 390. We don't know, but we are proceeding very cautiously on green panel. Moreover, when it comes to trading in the market, you always want to trade where there is a well established bull trend, or you want to proceed very cautiously if you're trying to trade in stocks like these, which are just coming out of a big correction. So that's a long answer to your short question. Let's move on. I can see some queries from our members on Zoom. So we have Akhil. Do you manage alerts GTD triggers differently around result days? For example, if the stock dips on result day and triggers GTD buy. Absolutely not, Akhil. If you start changing your system for external events, you will feel overwhelmed and there'll be a lot of chaos. So I am as a technical analyst, I know that, or I believe strongly, and it's also been proven a lot of times, that my price knows everything. Price action has all the relevant information of the world that exists already factored in, because some person, some place already knows that information and it's already factored in. So all I need to do is study my price action, identify my trade setup and execute it. And I don't change those things for any external events, maybe budget, maybe elections, maybe rate change or FOMC meetings or so on and so forth. See, in a world which is full of moving parts where everything is dynamic, the only thing that you can keep constant or consistent is your system, is your discipline in the market. Let's move on to the next question. I can see that there are some questions on the stock request form. So Mohit on Zoom has a question. Yes, Mohit, welcome to come off mute and ask your question. Yes.
So I have been that on a lot of PSU stocks, negative divergence has been accumulating on the weekly charts. And if you look at daily, it's been like almost 6 months. Like on PFC, I can see from since 6 months negative divergence has been building. Similarly, NCC is there, NPCC is there. A lot of stocks are there, but still, like Coal India is also there. But they still keep on going in an upward direction. How do I identify that this is a safe point that I can actually enter, make some profit, or this is the time that I should not touch the stock starting now?
Yeah. So there are two considerations that you need to keep in your mind. Okay. The first consideration is the time to realization. If I asked you how much time does it take for you to spot a positive versus negative divergence on say 3 minute, 15 minute, 75 versus daily versus weekly time frame, the answer is the same amount of time. Because what you are doing is you're looking at the chart and you're making a decision whether a higher low, a higher high is being met with a higher high on RSI, or whether a higher high on price is being met with a higher low or lower high on the RSI. That's it. So that spotting time is the same for you, but the realization time for different time frames is different. So 3 minute time frame, if you see a positive negative divergence, it will be realized in the next 1-2 days at max. Why? Because that is the amount of influence that a 3 minute time frame has. Versus if you compare that with a weekly time frames, divergence itself will take, so this divergence, for instance, is not even formed yet completely. It's an incomplete divergence. When will you consider it as formed? When it has broken below the low of the divergence formation. That's at least what I believe. So this is not formed yet. So something that is taking more than 210 days to form will obviously take at least three times the time to get realized. So you have to understand realization time of observations on weekly time frame is significantly higher than intraday time frames. So for PFC, for instance, you are seeing a negative divergence of the weekly time frame. This tells you that making fresh entries in PFC for a long term perspective is not a good idea. But if you are a short term trader, you want to be more interested in, so you want to keep in mind that the long term chart does not look bullish, but at the same time your decision making time frame is your 75 minute. If I look at the 75 minute time frame, what I am seeing is that there was a negative divergence which has been realized very quickly because of the extreme volatile nature, but then the is still in a positive range shift. Now, if you don't know what positive range shift and all is, don't worry. Since you are a member of the classes, we will be covering that topic in the class. This observation tells us that the underlying short-term momentum continues to be bullish. Again, on the daily time frame, also, if you see, there is a concept that so this stock has shown some negative divergence, but it has not broken below the level of 40. What is the level of 40 on RSI? It is the bull range support level. So this stock has given some signal that the bullish momentum might be weakening, but it is not bearish yet. So I personally am not very enthusiastic about making fresh entry positions because of these small red flags in PSC stocks. And even in the market outlook series last Friday, I did warn that you guys need to be careful when it comes to making fresh positions in your PSC, PSU stocks, right? All right. So Ashish, he's with us on Zoom and he's asking me to look at Angel One. What is a good entry point? So I don't think Angel One is a good stock to make fresh entry just yet because it's in a strong bear trend. I am looking out for the support level of the 50% retracement mark, which is around 2000. I'm aware today BSE has given a really good move, but with respect to Angel One, I think some more confirmations are required because structure on the 75 and the daily time frame are not bullish yet. They seem to be coming out of the bearishness, but not bullish yet. So we are going to have to wait and watch. So Priyanka is asking, are we expecting correction by this week? So if I take you guys to the chart of Nifty, what you will be able to see here is today we resisted the level of 25,000 very strongly. And also if you're part of my Telegram channel, you will see that I have already added this in my analyst comment. So every day after the market, I share my analyst comment. So I've already mentioned that Nifty has struggled to overcome the level of 25,000 today. And you also need to keep an eye on global scenarios. So if I add NDX, that is NASDAQ, for a comparison here, you will see that since 11th of July, NASDAQ has declined quite a bit. Nifty hasn't, NASDAQ has. So if I just change this there, NASDAQ has fallen nearly 10%. It's amazing that the Indian market has been so resilient. But this resilience is not everlasting. So 25,000 was not breached today. I think 25,150 is the next resistance. On the 75, if you see, the RSI is hovering very close to the level of 60. So if 25,000 does not get, we can potentially see some correction. The first support that I'm looking out on Nifty is at the level of 24,850, and the next one is 24,600. So I think the underlying trend continues to be pretty bullish. But if these support levels break, no problem, because last 2 days I would say I've been on a bit of a profit booking spree. So I am ready for the market to take a correction. And for the rest of the open positions that I have, stop losses are already set. So I can sleep peacefully even if a market correction does come. So Rajat, your question is around VST industry. So we discussed VST industry previous session also. View hasn't really changed, but I think the stock has moved up quite a bit. And Gopal Snacks. VST industry is not suitable for taking entry anymore. I think it's already run up, so we'll not get there. But let's take a look at Gopal Snacks. So Gopal Snacks, I'm not sure if the chart's not loading or if it has just this much price data. I'm not seeing a tiny little dinosaur here. So I think it probably has more data that it's not showing me yet. That is strange. All right, there's my dinosaur. Okay. Yeah. So very little price data makes technical analysis difficult, because this is one weakness of technicals. It needs more price data to be effective. Based on the very little data that we have, I think the stock is close to a important resistance. Until and unless it doesn't sustain above the level of say 370 rupees, I would not recommend any fresh positions, because it seemed to be consolidating in this upward trending trend line. And I would like, for me, a predictive accumulation zone for the stock would be around the level of 300 rupees to anywhere between 320 rupees. So 330 to 320, I think, would be a good potential accumulation zone given the current chart setup. So Sanjay ji on Zoom is asking about Cochin Shipyard, and he thinks that the stock is close to a low trend line. So is it a good point to make fresh entry? So Cochin Shipyard is actually one of my favorite swing trading, and the reason why I like this so much is because it moves pretty fast, has a strong underlying uptrend, gives good volume pickups on the upside, and at the same time gives good entry points. But because it's a very fast moving stock, it's also a very risky stock, because if you get caught or if you make a poor judgment in terms of the entry, there is a good chance that you will get hit by a pretty big stop loss, which is going to hurt a lot. So you want to be careful there. Say I choose these two high points. I don't want to choose this one because I think this was like a whole different trajectory. But you know what? I am, wow, it fits into the trajectory very pretty well. So that's something. See, this is what I love about the trajectory, that even if it doesn't jump out to you right away, but once you build that intuition by practicing, say, 20, 30 charts every single day, this is what you get. Just look at this. I wasn't even looking at this section. I use a different section altogether to draw my trend line, because the stock has tendencies which don't change. It fit perfectly inside the same trajectory that I was going to draw for the most recent uptrend, right? So this is basically what I want to take advantage of. So I can see that the stock is right now at the highest trajectory, which makes it a little bit risky for fresh longs. However, one thing that it has done is, like you said, it is close to a support trend line and potentially turning up. So my view on Cochin currently is that it may be preparing to test the resistance trend line, which gives us a pretty good, I would say, target of around 25% in the next month. But it also needs a stop loss level to be maintained. So I would maintain my stop loss right here. And this would be around, like I said, around 5%. So that gives a pretty attractive risk reward ratio of 5. But this is the approach to analysis that I would take for Cochin Shipyard. Now, guys, you guys know that we analysts, when we come on social media, we say this is for education purpose, not recommendation. And trust me, that's not just for formality's sake. It's very important that you adhere to that advice or that disclaimer that this is not trading advice, because views in the market are subject to change. If you are listening to somebody that you're not connected with and making financial decisions of buying or selling something as risky as stocks, then remember, when the view of the analyst change, you will not get to know that. So you're taking blind risk there. So if you want to act on my recommendations, I would suggest you do the respectful thing, which is to get connected with me and enroll into my services rather than depending on free advice. This is not free advice whatsoever. This is purely for sharing knowledge about technical analysis and swing trading.
Just going to see in the chart. So, Vidhi, yeah.
Okay, so you want to know how I chose this level as my stop loss. See, a more liberal stop loss would have been below this, right? Now, if I mark my support resistance zones, this is the level that I would choose, right? Around here. So this becomes my next support. But now, because the stock has already taken the trend line support and turned up, clearly turned up, here I don't want to expose myself to a very big risk. So if I set my stop loss here, the absolute risk is going to be 7.5%, but that comes way below my trend line. So I have the option of using exactly the trend line as stop loss, but I don't want to do that again because there is this blue little line, which is the 20 EMA line. Sometimes when a stock is trying to come, like test the 20 EMA and come up again, it can do so multiple times. So I don't want to be very aggressive and keep my stop loss right there at the confluence of supports. I also don't want to be very liberal and let go of a huge chunk of capital on my this thing on my position. So what I'm looking at is this tiny little consolidation zone in the middle. So this is the window that I'm looking at to identify a potential zone that I can set as my stop loss. So again, if I use the very top of this as a stop loss zone, might be very risky. So what I have done is I have come down and somewhere in the middle of this, I'm setting a potential stop loss. Gives me a lot of buffer from the confluence zone of two potential supports, and it gives me a lot of around 1.5-2% of buffer from that confluence zone as well. So that is the logic. I think that was a very good question, Prem. Thanks for asking. So with that, we'll wrap today's session up. I thank each and every one of you for coming and joining this session, giving me your time. I will see you again on Friday at 5 p.m. And I have a special announcement for that day. So make sure that you join the live session at 5 p.m. on Friday, which I think is the 2nd of August, if I'm not wrong. Yes, it is the 2nd of August. So stay tuned and keep learning technical analysis, swing trading. I think it's a great way to realize a life where you have full control on your time, only if you can control your psychology and your emotions associated with it. If you're looking out for mentoring around swing trading and technical analysis, do feel free to connect with me, join my channels. More than happy to have a community of people eager to learn the market tricks. So thank you so much for joining in. I will see you on Friday at 5 p.m. Do join my Telegram channel and don't forget to like this video if you thought I've shared something meaningful. And please do also subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining. Namaste.